The following presentation is based on content from my new book, The Great Gold and Silver Rush of the 21st Century. To read the free online chapters or order the book, please go to ggsr21.com. Thanks. Well, my new book is finally here. It's The Great Gold and Silver Rush of the 21st Century. And in it, it is about gold and silver, but it's about a whole lot more than that as well. The crux of the book is in chapter 7, it reaches sort of this pinnacle, but you have to know all of this other stuff before you really get it. In the 70s, from the lowest price to the highest price in January of 1980, gold rose 25 times and silver rose 41 times. Now, there are about twice as many ounces of gold available today. However, the number of people that can legally access and buy gold and silver, there's 18 times more people. You got to remember that in the USSR and in China under Mao, that it was illegal to buy gold and silver, and there were no markets. You couldn't buy gold. There was no exchange to buy it on, so even if somebody could buy it through the black market or from another individual, it didn't affect the worldwide spot price. So those people were excluded from driving the price of gold from $35 an ounce all the way up to $873 is the actual intraday high in January 1980. But those 18 times more people, this includes Africa, South America, Mexico. When I was a kid, back in the 70s, in the 80s, you'd see TV commercials to try and raise funds for starving children in Mexico, South America, the Caribbean, Africa, Southeast Asia, just all over the world. There was quite a bit of starvation going on. It's a very, very different world today. Now there are markets and exchanges in most of these areas, and the people that can buy now have, according to the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, they've got 55 times more currency. There's 55 times more currency that has been created on this planet than there was back in January of 1980. There are 56 times more millionaires, 200 times more billionaires. There is 220 times more available consumer credit, and the stock market capitalization is 49 times higher globally. And now it's the people with assets that are going to be the people that want to protect assets are the people that are going to be buying gold and silver in this great gold and silver rush of the 21st century, which started in the year 2000, 1999, 2000. But it's just a small portion of it that is done so far. Over the next few years, I do believe that you're going to see something spectacular. So getting back to my book, it's the first chapter is Where'd My Money Go? And it starts with, if you've ever seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life by Frank Capra with Jimmy Stewart starring in it as George Bailey. That was in an era where we thought banks actually lent us something that already existed. We trusted banks. We thought they were working in our best interest. But banks don't actually lend you anything that exists. When you come to take out a loan, that currency is created. So right away, that chapter is called Where'd My Money Go? Because it's no longer money. And part of it right after George Bailey is that stuff in your wallet isn't money. And it's about the difference between money versus currency and price versus value. And I sort of pretty much lay out in that chapter, and I believe prove pretty much beyond a shadow of a doubt that the stuff in your wallet isn't money, it's currency. So let's take a look at some of that real quick. This is a $10,000 gold note, and this is among the first of the notes that are from the Treasury. Before that, we were using coinage. We didn't use paper currency. There were notes, created by private banks and stuff. But here we have the Act of March 3rd, 1863. So 1863 is the beginning of the Civil War. but this is certifying that $10,000 have been deposited with the Assistant Treasurer of the United States, and it's payable in gold at his office to the order of, and they would fill in your name here. So this isn't like a general note that's just printed. This is a certificate of deposit from the U.S. Treasury, and this was made out to individuals. So this is probably the most beautiful fiat currency ever created. It's the education series of silver certificates from 1896. And this promises to pay $1 silver. So this is a note that is a promise to pay money. It's promising to pay $1 silver. Here is the $2 note. These are just gorgeous. But the most beautiful is the $5 note. And this is where there's this old term, banned in Boston. Boston would ban a whole bunch of things. That's where this term came from, and it's because of the naked breasts of they actually banned the U.S. $5 bill in Boston. But this is a promise to pay $5 silver. That's what it is. So, how did we get on this path of just promising to pay dollars that are more notes for dollars that are more notes for dollars? That's this loop of IOUs. This is a Treasury gold certificate. This certifies that there have been deposited in the Treasury of the United States of America $10,000 in gold coin. $10,000 in gold coin payable to the bearer on demand. And so that in gold coin part, that is the most important thing here. This is a note that promises to pay money. Now, I can prove that that is what this is saying with the next note. Notice that this is Series 1928, and this is a Treasury note. This is a Federal Reserve note, also from 1928, same denomination, but this is a Federal Reserve note that will pay the bearer on demand $10,000. Not $10,000 in gold coin. It's just offering to pay $10,000, and it says that it's redeemable in gold coin on demand at the United States Treasury. I always thought that was funny. That would be like me saying, here is my IOU for so-and-so's car or for your house. I get to make out the IOU and promise that you're going to pay it. This is the Federal Reserve making out an IOU and promising that the Treasury will pay it. Or it's in gold or lawful money. What is lawful money? This was lawful money, the IOU from the Treasury for actual money. So you've got gold or lawful money. So what is a Federal Reserve note? If the gold note was lawful money and the gold was the money backing this lawful money, what is the Federal Reserve note? The Federal Reserve note is it's saying that the Federal Reserve note is not lawful money. So the other thing was lawful money. This is a promise to pay gold or lawful money. Therefore, this is not money. This is currency. It's a stand-in, and it's something they used to sort of lead us down this road of deception. And this is in the book, and it just proves, where this has gone since then, where we were transitioning from fully backed with gold to partially backed with gold to almost no gold to no gold whatsoever, to just being able to cash this note in. I mean, this is now, Federal Reserve notes are redeemable. If you take a $100 bill into the bank, you can trade it for $20 bills or $10 bills or $5 bills or $1 bills. But they're all notes to just pay other notes. And what the thing that this proves is that if you take a piece of paper, put some numbers on it, and a whole bunch of little fancy scrolls and curlicues on it, and a picture of a very well-respected dead guy, anybody will fall for anything, hook, line, and sinker. So I go through that, and I prove that currency is not money. There's a difference. I show price versus value. I cover theft by decree, which is fiat currency is by government fiat, which is a decree, and it is theft. I cover the currency conjuring con, how currency is created, the evils of banking and central banking, central bank digital currencies, and I owe you an explanation. Thus, all currency that central banks create is fully backed by debt-based assets such as treasury bills, notes, bonds, and mortgage-backed securities. All of these are nothing but IOUs. Who has to pay back these IOUs? You do. That's right. You pay the principal and the interest on the treasuries when you pay your taxes, and you pay for the principal and interest on the mortgage-backed securities when you pay your mortgage. So, question. What backs national fiat currencies? The answer is your permanent indentured servitude. Something wicked this way comes, and that's where I go into central banking and central bank digital currencies. And I close out that chapter with the challenge. To paraphrase what J.P. Morgan said way back in 1912, gold is money, everything else is credit. And the challenge is, from now on, every time you open up your wallet and use some debt-based national fiat currency, just stop for a moment and think how incredibly stupid the whole concept is. I've been doing this for many, many years, and it's instilled in me a total contempt for currency, but an ultimate respect for money. So I hereby challenge you to please always use the proper terminology and differentiate between currency and money. Never again use the term money when you're referring to the dollar, yen, euro, or pound. This is really hard to do. I've been trying to do it since I first started this back in 2006, and every once in a while I still make a mistake, but I always correct myself. If somebody disagrees with your stance that national fiat currencies are not money and they claim that their currency is money, ask them, do you believe money is a store of value? And they're most likely going to say, yes, I believe money is a store of value. Then ask them, is there inflation? And if they answer yes, then ask them, but aren't those two things mutually exclusive? If there is inflation, the currency is losing value. And so these things are mutually exclusive. Please try to differentiate between money and currency from now on. So, Confucius said, the beginning of wisdom is to call things by their proper names. So that is the end of my short description of what Chapter 1 is. Thanks for watching, but this is by no means the whole story. If you want the full story, including my free online-only chapters and companion videos, there's a wealth of information at ggsr21.com. Thanks.